Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage CEO and co-founder Liju Thomas.
Woo! Hello, hello, hello! Is NeXarise in the house? Be alright! I'm not gonna sing. Have a seat, have a seat. If you're ready, can you say I'm ready? Just about a year ago, this was a dream. Can you imagine? This was a vision, and today it's reality. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? This is reality now. And when I saw those amazing, incredible individuals on stage, I'm saying, wow, you know, their lives are just getting started to get changed. And here, each and every one of you. And let me tell you everybody, welcome to NeXarise. Welcome to our home. Welcome, you know, I'm just so grateful that we're here, live and kicking by the grace of God. And I'm so humbled. I promise you, we are so humbled. See, I appreciate everything because I come from nothing. And I'm so humbled to be here today and literally speak to you as one of the co-founders. And today my aim in the next few minutes is very simple. 3 things. Number 1, I really want to inspire you. That's what I want to do. Number 2, I want you to believe and make you think higher than you've ever thought before. And number 3, I want to touch your hearts. Is that okay? If I can get those 3 things done, my job is done. And that's the beauty about this. So, friends, so glad to be here live. And how many of you agree that COVID has really changed and touched or changed people's lives everywhere around the world? Every human has been affected. Isn't that right? You know, I actually saw an image of an application of an individual making a benefits and social security application. And in the application, it said, what's your profession? He said, burglar. Next question, how has COVID affected you? Drastically, because everybody is at home. People's lives have been affected, and it's absolutely a blessing that if you are breathing right now, consider yourself as a blessing. People understood the value of oxygen. Isn't that crazy? And hence we are here right now, and it's crazy. Now, let me tell you something. Any key workers in the room today? Any key workers? Can you please stand up for me just for 1 minute? Just stand up, just remain standing. Here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do before we do anything. As a child, I was inspired by superpowers and superheroes, Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, the list goes on. As a child, these were the individuals who I wanted to be like. But in the last 1.5 little years, everybody in the world recognized the real superheroes. And the real superheroes are the ones who are standing right now. Let's give them a round of applause, everybody. Thank you. Have a seat. So you see, everybody, it's an absolute phenomenon that in the midst of the pandemic, you know, like big companies out there, and I can name the companies, HP, you can look at Apple, you can look at some of the biggest companies in the world came out of the greatest recession. And NeXarise was born as well. And what I want to do today is, I want to give you the definition of the word hero. Now, a hero is someone who's admired for their courage, achievements, noble sacrifices, and the ability to stare adversity in the face without a single blink. And let me tell you, each and every one of them in the room today, I am telling you this, and mark my words when I say this. You will today, if you choose to do so, become a hero for so many millions of people in the world. I can guarantee you that. Absolute hero. And that's the reality of how things are. Now, let me start off with this. This book, how many of you have read this book? Well done for doing so, because as soon as you read this book, you actually put yourself in the race to become a millionaire. Isn't that amazing? This book was written in 1937, Think and Grow Rich. And it took the author Napoleon Hill 25 years. 25 years of research. So when he started, it was 109 years ago. And in 1937, he wrote this book, Think and Grow Rich. After 25 years of research, of researching over 25,000 of the most successful human beings on the planet. And what his theory was, the principles of success is the same all over the world at any generation that you can imagine. So rather than teaching people all over again the principles, let me just do the hard work of researching and finding out. And he figured out there were 30 13 principles of success. And each and every one of you in the room today, the reason you are here today is because you want success in your life. Yes or yes? Yes. No, I didn't hear you. Yes or yes? Yes. Others, you wouldn't waste your time. I promise you that. But you want success. So my objective today is to show you how the 13 principles of success in this book. Remember, any single successful individual you see in the world today has taken the inspiration from this book. Tony Robbins, Les Brown, big athletes, presidents, prime ministers, they've read this book. In fact, they say the average millionaire has read this book at least 7 times in his or her life. Isn't that amazing? Now, I've read it more than 25 times, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the thing. For you to be on the journey or the road of success, the first thing you want to do is start reading this book. Is that a deal? Yeah. So what we have done is taken the principles on this book, and what I've done is I've compiled the whole thing into a simple transition of how it will be applicable for you in NeXarise. Is that all right? So here's the reality of this. Today I'm going to talk about the road of success, and that's what we are doing today. But before I actually talk about the road of success, you need to know what my life story was. I was born and brought up in a very ordinary middle-class family. And let me tell you the honest truth, I wasn't a great student. I was a lazy student. Any lazy students in the room? All right, there you go. You know me, you feel me. You know, I hated going to class simply because class meant C-L-A-S-S, come late and start sleeping. That's what it meant for me. I hated going to my mathematics class because math meant mental abuse to human beings or mentally affected teacher harassment. You know, I hated it. In fact, for me, the one word that I learned all my life is my mom, who said, keep studying, keep studying, keep studying. And all I heard studying was student dying. Does that make sense? So finally, somehow or the other, I finished, high school with a PhD. Isn't that amazing? Not the normal PhD. PhD for me is past high school with difficulty. You understand where I'm coming from? My parents then said, okay, let's get a degree. So I came to the United Kingdom about 21 years ago, and I did a degree in engineering, and I got a certificate at the end, a degree certificate at the end, and also I was 40,000 pounds in debt. Can you imagine? And I worked out at the rate of me paying that debt, maybe 15 years later, I would pay that debt off. Isn't that crazy? And literally, I went down, and I was an individual who worked hard, and I went and tried the careers in the world that most people would try. And there are 5 careers in the world that most people would try. And the first one was a blue-collar career, where you exchange your time for your craft and you get paid for it. I worked as an engineer, and here's a challenge. The more you work, the more you get paid. The moment you stop working, that's when you stop getting paid, and I was not happy. Then I went to the next career, which is called a white-collar career. And that career is when you actually have a management role. And the thing is this, in that role as well, same thing, you get paid for the time that you do, and you got to do nasty things like firing people, and I hated that. But I was in management for one of the biggest management companies or finance companies in the world. I then took my hand into the third type of career that most people go into, and that is the sales career. Problem is this, you achieve your sales targets, you make a lot of money, but the next year you got to do it all over again. It was frustrating, and I was really burnt out. Then I went into a concept called traditional business, invested a lot of money, hundreds and thousands of pounds in a business. But here's what I realized about traditional business. A business is only successful if it runs with or without you. Who knows what I'm talking about? And I didn't enjoy that. I didn't get financial freedom there. That's why I also realized that more than 90% of business owners go bankrupt. Isn't that crazy? Right? Then I went to the final career, that was investor. You got to take all the money that you have and you got to risk it. And if you're good at investing like Warren Buffett, you make a lot of money. But here's the thing, I was not Warren Buffett, I was Warren Muffet. Does that make sense? And I lost a lot of money. So this is what the 5 careers that most people go into, and at the end of it, I was completely frustrated. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Has anyone felt that before? I was frustrated of being frustrated. Has anyone felt that one before? Yes. You see, because here's why I was frustrated. These were the rings that she wanted. These were the rings that I wanted. But the problem was, these were the rings that I could afford. So that's why I was frustrated, right? I was sick and tired of doing the same thing over and over again. Waking up early morning, force-feeding myself, stuck in a car that I didn't even own, stuck in traffic every single day, going up and down on the motorways, and sometimes in the train, in overcrowded train, smelling people's body odor. Went to the same place to work every single day, met the same stressed people every single day, came back home, and then stuck in a rut race. And I realized that no matter how high I go up that rat race, I'm still a rat. Yes, so yes. Completely frustrated. And here's the reality of this. You see, I've got 3 sons and a daughter, yeah? And one of the games that I play with my kids is called Police and Robber. Has anyone played that before? Yeah? So my kids are the police and I'm the robber. I'm running around the house the other day. And guess what happens? Just as I was turning the corner, my little finger on my right leg hit the edge of the sofa. And have you ever stubbed your toe before, anybody? I was on the floor. In 1 second, I saw the entire heavens above me, screaming on the top of my throat, and my 3 children came and did this. We caught you. And they sat down and saw me in pain. I knew I broke my little toe. Absolutely. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, show this chart in front of me. It's called a pain assessment tool. And I said, describe, where is your pain? And I said, right now I'm at number 10. But here's the lesson. When I saw that, I asked the doctor a question. When do most people come and see you? He said, around 8 to 10. Isn't that crazy? And I realized there's a message in this. Most people only take action when it gets to a stage when it's around 8 to 10. Otherwise, they will hold on to the pain themselves in what we call a comfort zone. How many of you relate with me? They'll hold on to the pain. You know, it reminds me of a story. It was a man who was walking down the street, sees an old man and a dog, an old man on a little armchair, and the dog was wailing. He was crying. And the man sees this every single day. Finally, the man goes up to the old man and says, listen, why is your dog crying all the time? And the old man said, that's because the dog is lying on a nail. They said, why does the dog doesn't get up and go? The old man said, because it doesn't hurt enough. Think about that. It doesn't hurt enough. And that's the comfort zone. And I was stuck in that comfort zone because I was comfortable with the pain. Can you say comfortable with the pain? It's crazy, isn't it? I want to just show you something. Can you all just raise your right hands as high as you can? Fantastic. Now, that's your comfort zone. That's your comfort zone. Hold on. Now raise it even higher, please. That's the edge of your comfort zone. Can you raise it a little bit higher, please? Now you've come out of the comfort zone. Give yourselves a round of applause. Whenever you do something, you will do up to the edge of the comfort zone. Isn't that crazy? And that's the reality of this. And at some point, when does change happen? It's very simple. When the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of change, that is when you will change. Am I making sense? And that is when you make a decision to change. Change means CHANGE. Choose happiness and never give excuses. Does this make sense? I made a decision that, you know what, I was sick and tired of where I am. I don't want to be where I want to be anymore. And I've tried all the 5 different careers. Nobody has got a solution for me. And by the grace of God, by chance, about 10 years ago, I was invited to come and see a network marketing opportunity by chance. Isn't that amazing? See, all your lives, you'll be doing things by choice. But this is the only industry in the world where you don't come in by choice, but you come in by chance. And blessed and highly favored are those who get the opportunity to be in this industry because of chance and grace of God. Does that make sense? And I got a chance to come and see an opportunity like this, and I saw the concept of unlimited residual income, a chance to live my lives, a chance to buy all the rings that I wanted in my entire life. But what I saw that I never saw in any other industry is that there is a support system for people to support you to the top. Isn't that amazing? Nowhere else. When I did business, no other businessman, successful business person came to me and said, listen, I'm going to help you in your business. No. In fact, they wanted me to be failure because they didn't want me to be a competition. In your job, nobody's going to come and support you to become a CEO one day. You know why? Because you become their competition. Yes, so yes. But here there's a support system, a system where you come into NeXarise, you follow a system, you follow it consistently, you're guaranteed success. Isn't that amazing? And the most successful leaders in this industry are going to come and teach you how to be successful like them for free, so that one day you can be free like them. Am I making sense, everybody? If that makes sense, can you go, I've never seen that before. Successful people coming and teaching you to be successful by you following a simple system. So I grabbed the opportunity, I went into the system, and I was able to do one of the most amazing things in my life. That's go to my mom and my dad after 2 years in this industry and say, Dad, Mom, you never have to work a day in your life ever again. Isn't that amazing? So friends, after all the 5 different careers and looking at this industry and studying this industry, I am 100% convinced NeXarise is not perfect, but it's just better than every single thing out there. That's what I can tell you. You can make NeXarise your home. You can find this to be the best career of your life. Why? One, residual income. What do you do today? You can get paid in 2030, 2040, 2050. Isn't that crazy? The next thing that you can actually get is the concept of financial freedom. What does that mean? Add up your monthly expenses, your car, your petrol, your mortgage, your rent. Add that all up. If that's £5,000 a month, and if on the first of every month you get £5,000 from NeXarise, the beauty about this is you're financially free. Isn't that crazy? The next thing you can actually have is unlimited income potential. You can write your own paycheck. I've never seen that anywhere else in the world. The next thing that I can see is you can get time freedom. I was interviewed on TV and somebody said, Liju, how do you define success? I said, it's simple. Success is doing what you want, when you want, where you want, wherever you want, with whoever you want, however you want. Does that make sense? That is time freedom. The next thing you get is daily personal growth. I believe in life every day either you're growing or you're dying. Here you get to grow on a daily basis. The next thing, you get to serve other people. Isn't that amazing? Zig Ziglar said that in life, the best thing to do is in serving other people. If you give enough people what they want, enough people will give you what you want. Isn't that amazing? You get tax benefits. Who knows that taxes are made by business people for business people? So right, that's why the biggest companies in the world pay lesser tax than somebody who is a middle class employee. Isn't that amazing? Look at this, family growth. Your entire family grows with you and you won't even realize this. Next one is you get to travel around the world. You know, somebody asked me, Liju, how do you know that if somebody has lived a good life? I said, it's simple. Show me the pages of their passport and I will tell you if they lived a good life or not. Nearly 200 countries on the planet, and some people have visited maybe 3 or 4 in their lifetime. You got to travel the world with this industry, my friends. You get to diversify relationships. See, one thing I always observed in my life is Chinese people have Chinese friends. Indian people have Indian friends. Do you know that? British people have British friends. You know, but the reality comes from variety. Who knows that's true? Variety is the spice of life. Next thing you got to look at, you get positive associations. You know, George Bernard Shaw said, show me your crowd and I'll tell you your future. Isn't that amazing? Show me your crowd and I'll tell you your future. Look to the person on your left and right and say, you're my crowd. Now really look to the person and say, you are my crowd. You see, my friends, your vibe attracts your tribe. I believe that, you know, in life you will have what, you will have in life what your 5 people around you is going to have. H is health. You'll have the health of the average of the 5 people that you hang around with. If you hang around with 5 unhealthy people, you'll be unhealthy. A is attitude. If you hang around with 5 negative people, you'll be negative. If you hang around with 5 positive people, you'll be positive. Only 4 people understood what I just said. If you hang around with 5 positive people, you'll be positive. If you hang around with 5 negative people, you'll be negative. You will be negative, your wife will be negative, your kids will be negative, even your dog's going to be negative. Does that make sense? V is values. If you hang around with 5 thieves, you'll be the 6th one. And E is earnings. You know, if you hang around with 5 broke people, you'll be broke. But if you hang around with 5 millionaires, you're going to be a millionaire. Isn't that amazing? Look at this. You get to become a role model to other people. I just got a message literally, 20 minutes ago on my phone of a gentleman I spoke to about 4 years ago. And he sent me a message and he just said, Liju, thank you for being a role model. I have it on my phone right now by a man called Ram. It's quite amazing. And I've lost connection with him about 5 years ago. But he said, thank you for role model. I didn't even know that I have a role model for that guy. Isn't that amazing? You became a role model for your children. Isn't that amazing? You know what? I took my kid to a fancy dress, my oldest one is a fancy dress party. And the kids can go and select the outfit that they want. So, you know, the other kids went up and they say, hey, what do you want? What outfit do you want? What do you want to be? There's one guy said, I want to be Superman. The other girl said, hey, I want to be Wonder Woman. My son goes up. He said, what do you want to be? He said, I want to be like my daddy. As a parent, that's the best thing you can have. Trust me, friends. Look at this. It's because of this industry. You get to impact lives on a daily basis. You get to have no monotony. Every single day is different. Isn't that amazing? Look at this. You get to earn recognition and respect, because respect is not gained but earned. Every person who walked on the stage got on the stage because they earned it. They did something, and that's how you earn respect. They didn't buy it. They didn't have nepotism. Their parents were not successful. That's why they're on the stage. They earned it. You get to do this. You get to have a balanced life. You get to get rich, not just rich in wealth, but rich in health, wealth, and wisdom. You get happiness. You get to have mental and social well-being because you're connected with the right kind of people, the right kind of vibe, the right kind of tribe. You get to work with your life partner. Somebody said that's not a good idea, but then you got the wrong life partner. Am I making sense? Where you and your life partner have the same goals, the same vision, and your life becomes quite amazing. Look at this. You get to work from home, the beach, anywhere you want. All right? You get to have an equal opportunity. Do you know this is the industry where men and women are treated equal? Who thinks that's amazing? Over 80% of the women who make over 100,000 comes from this industry. Isn't that amazing? Equal opportunity. No matter if you're tall, if you're short, you're big, you're fat, you're small, you got a big bank account, bad credit score, doesn't matter. Are you willing to pay the price? You're going to be successful. Talent and intelligence doesn't matter. Trust me, if it did matter, I would not be on this stage right now. Am I making sense? Every single person on the stage said this: if I can do it, look to your neighbor and say, if I can do it, you can do it. You become an ethical entrepreneur with integrity. Let me tell you, I met a lot of successful business people, very wealthy in the bank account. But you know what? When I tell them, listen, what are your practices? Show me your bank account, they get scared. Because a lot of business owners in the world, what they do is they do not practice ethical integrity. Isn't that amazing? In this business, you can be a person who's got integrity, and you can become an entrepreneur at the same time. You get to live a purpose-driven life. Every single day, you're doing something towards your purpose. That's the reason why you work really hard. You go to bed with satisfaction, you wake up in the morning with determination. Isn't that great? Look at this. You get to have an unending journey of progression. You get to SVP crown. That's $1 million, dollars a month in our company. That's not the stopping point. That's the starting point. You know why? Because here's the reality of this. When you should stop as an SVP crown? When you make other SVP crowns in your business, when you get other SVP crowns in the world, when every single person in the world becomes financially free, that's when you can stop. So you got a long journey of progression. Look at this. You don't have a boss. Isn't that amazing? BOSS means blowing off serious steam. You are your own boss in this business. You have no targets, means no pressure. You got low risk with a trial period. Listen, where in the world can you get into a business, pay $199 and get $1 million a month? Tell me any one place where the risk is absolutely ridiculously low. It's recession proof because it's online. It's pandemic proof because we deal with essential services. And look at this, you get regular coaching by some of the most successful people in the world for free so that you can have freedom. You have to have a flexible and work part-time. Listen, once you become an RD10, you're making 10 grand a month. Take a year off holiday, doesn't matter. You're getting 10 grand a month anyway. Isn't that crazy? If you got to retire to Jamaica, so go do it. That's what you should do. All right? I love Jamaica. Look at this, it doesn't end. You get to have clarity and stability. You look at our comp plan, your residual income is 10 grand. You know what? Now you know that's what I can build it. But there's stability as well because it's not up and down. Look at this, you become a part of a noble cause because what is the cause and what is the mission of NeXarise is to help people earn residual income and change their lives. You actually get to leave a legacy. What are you building today? Your children can now take it. 30, 40 years of what you've built now goes to your children and you become a legend in your family, leaving a legacy. LEGACY means let every generation after celebrate you. Last but not the least, you experience a fulfilled life. Every day you know that you're doing something that gives you fulfillment, because happiness is temporary but fulfillment is everlasting. Friends, if I stop the training today, I believe I've given you enough for you to go back and build a legacy. Would you agree? Yes. But I'm just getting started. So look to your neighbor and just say, he's just getting started. So I have given you 35 reasons for why you can make NeXarise your home, why this industry is the best industry in the world, why after trying owning different careers, I found out that this is the best one. NeXarise is not perfect, it's simply better than everything else out there. But now according to the principles of Think and Grow Rich, here's the very first thing you got to do. You got to have a strong why. You got to have a very strong why. You got to have a very strong goal, and it has to be a SMART goal. SMART. Somebody I told the other day, listen, why are you doing this? Why are you doing NeXarise? He said to make money. No. Everybody wants to make money. You got to be SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. You got to write exactly how much money you want to make, at what time period you want to make, and you got to write it down so you can see it every single day. Now, I say this a lot of times, and people think, this is, I will write it down. Nobody writes it down. 1% of people write down their goals. Those are the 1% of people who achieve something. So you got to write it down. When the why is strong enough, your how is irrelevant. Does that make sense? Yeah. A bird once asked a rocket, listen, why do you fly so fast? The rocket said, if your backside is on fire, even you will fly that fast. So your why is your fire. Am I making sense? So today, my friends, in the road of success of NeXarise, what does R stand for? R stands for ridicule. Can you say ridicule? Ridicule. You are going to be ridiculed in this business, and this is my 10 years of experience telling this. Now, what is the kind of ridicule that you're going to get? Your friends, your family, your elders, all these people are going to ridicule you, and that is normal. Say the word normal. Ridicule is normal simply because birds born in a cage think flying is an illness. Does that make sense? People are born and brought up from a young age to look for a job, not for opportunity. My favorite book, my biggest mentor of all times is asked a question. And the question he was asked was, how can I make the world love me? And you know what the mentor said? Do what the world does. Be like them. But if you want to be like me, you got to stop doing what they're doing. For you will be ridiculed. Does that make sense, everybody? Yep. Here's a real story. Once upon a time, in the jungle. This is not Lion King. There was a very big argument between two animals. It was a donkey and a lion cub. Huge argument, big commotion. All the animals got together to see what's happening. The big argument between the donkey and the lion cub. And when they inquired, the wise owl inquired, why are you fighting? Why are you arguing? The donkey said, the sky is green, but this lion cub thinks the sky is blue. How foolish this lion can be. The sky is what? It's green. Now the lion cub is like, listen, no matter what happens in the world, nobody can convince me that the sky is blue. Am I making sense? So all the animals said, listen, let's go to the king and let's take a meeting with the king and let the king decide who's right. And the donkey said, okay, but the one who is wrong should be punished. The lion cub said, sure. So they got a meeting with the king. The king got in front of both of them. And then they said, what's the problem? Donkey said, the sky is green. Lion cub said, the sky is blue. Mr. King, you tell me what is right. And punish the one who is wrong. The lion thought for a moment, the king, and said, donkey, you are right. The donkey is like, ha ha, ee-ha. You know what I'm saying? How are you going to punish this lion cub? This idiot who thinks that the sky is blue. The lion said, listen, Mr. Lion Cub or the lion, you're punished for the next 2 years of complete silence. The lion cub is shocked. The donkey ee-ha all the way out. And all the animals leave. The lion cub asked the king, oh mighty king, you tell me right now, what's the color of the sky? The lion said, it's blue. Then why did you let the donkey tell the donkey that the sky is green? And why did you punish me? And the lion said, it's very simple. You being a lion is punished today because you being a lion is arguing with a donkey. It doesn't matter if the sky is blue or green. You being a lion should never argue with the donkey. Hence you deserve the punishment, not the donkey, because the donkey is just being a donkey. You are not behaving like a lion. Does that make sense, anybody? Any lions in the room today? So my friends, when you get in this industry, you're going to be ridiculed. But if you argue back with the people who ridicule, you're a donkey. Am I making sense? Because you can't make a donkey a lion. A donkey is always a donkey. That's the reason why one of the greatest entrepreneurs in the world, there's this gentleman over here, Mark Twain, said, never argue with an idiot, because he will bring you down to his level and beat you with experience. So the first thing you're going to face in this game, my friend, is ridicule. The biggest books in the world, most successful books in the world say this, is ridicule. The second thing you're going to face through on the road of success is opposition. And this is the kind of opposition you're going to face every single day. You're going to be opposed by your most closest people all the way through. And you're going to be opposed by two things. The first thing you're going to be opposed by is this two-letter little word called N-O. Say no. No simply means next opportunity. You got to hear at least 10,000 no's before you become a regional vice president. How many no's? 10,000. You know what? People don't even hear 10 no's and they quit. Isn't that crazy? But that's the reality. You've got to listen to this two-letter word called no, because no simply means next opportunity. No doesn't mean no. No means not now. So this is the first opposition you're going to get. The second opposition you're going to get is excuses. People will say all kind of excuses. That's the reason why the greatest disease in the world that people have affected, it's not coronavirus. The biggest disease in the world is called excusitis, who's got two other variants called bronchitis and pocketitis. Does that make sense? You're going to hear excuses because excuses are the nails that are built that make a house a failure. Am I making sense, everybody? By the time they listen to the no's and by the time they listen to the ridicule, the R and O, that is when people say, I quit. So you're going to get a lot of quitters in the game. And the reason why you're going to get this quitters simply because they can't handle the two-letter word called no. They don't understand that this is what it takes, because people will quit by the time they hear a few no's. And that's the reality of this. But quitters never win, and winners never quit. That's why when I walked down the streets of Rome, I looked at the statues. They never build statues for quitters. Do you realize that? So that's what it is. But now look at this. People will say, I quit. But now that's not it. What is the next thing? After ridicule and opposition comes what? Acceptance and admiration. But it comes after the ridicule and the opposition. And this is what's going to happen to each and every one of you if you do not quit after R and O. One day you will stand up on the stage where millions of people around the world will hear your story. When you will say, I once was. Before NeXarise, I was. But today here I am. Before NeXarise, I was a warrior. Today, because of NeXarise, I am a warrior. Am I making sense? Before I was a victim. Today, I am a victor. You will hear your story, and that's when the world will start to accept you and admire you all the way through. That is the reality. Every single person who walked on the stage has been ridiculed, has been opposed. They simply did not quit. And then you get to the final D, which is duplication. Everybody wants to be like you now. You understand? Everybody wants to be like you. So I'm right now going to preempt the comments that you are going to hear. Are you ready? If you're ready, can I say I'm ready? I'm ready. Here are the comments. When you first get started on the road of success, you're unranked. You just got started. You're unranked. You've not achieved a position yet. Here's what's going to happen. When you're unranked, this is what your friends are going to say. Your people are going to say, you just want to join and make money off of me. Don't fall for it. I know someone who joined and made no money. It's never going to work. You're going to hear this. I once heard that, hey, listen, my uncle's auntie's dead granddaughter's donkey once joined this and lost 50,000 pounds. I said, why would you listen and look at failures? Why didn't you look at the success stories? Doesn't that make sense? Right? Do you know a lot of people die during surgery? But if you need surgery, will you actually go and not take the surgery? All right, now look at this. The next thing, when you be a ETT 100, making £100 a month or dollars a month, they'll say, I can't believe you're still doing this, man. 100 in a month is nothing. I make 5 times more than that in a week. Then you become the ETL 1000. It says, bro, 1,000 a month is nothing. Nothing amazing about that. It's even below the minimum wage. I can make more money flipping burgers at McDonald's. And then you become a TC 5000. I see you, bro. I see you, sister. I respect your hustle, but it seems like you are scamming. Nobody else is making money but you and a few others at the top. Is not for me. My uncle said, you're a scam. I said, no, uncle, you're a scam, because SCAM means still confused about money. And then you become an RD 10 grand. It's like you get a message now. I never doubted you, Steve. Even though it seemed like I did. It was all love, bro. And I really respect you for what you're doing, but it's not for me though. And then you'll get to RVP 100. You're killing it, man! Show me what you're doing. If you can help me make money, I am in. Oh, it gets better. You become SVP crown, 1 million a month. I love you, brother. I've been supporting you since day one. You think you can loan me some money because you're making so much? Yeah? Mark my words. You're in England, you'll hear this in English. You come to India, you'll hear it in Hindi. You go to Spain, you'll hear the same thing in Spanish. The language never changes. And these are words that some of the greatest achievers on the planet have heard. Not just NeXarise senior vice presidents and regional vice presidents. You see where I'm coming from? You're going to be ridiculed. You're going to be opposed. It's a reality. You know, after a while, my uncle started making fun of me. I came into my family meeting. My uncle said, "Here comes the businessman." I said, "Uncle, but you're a caveman." He said, "Why do you call me that?" CAVEMAN, citizen against virtually everything, morning and night. I have nothing to say. It's a reality. But you got to move on. Because let me tell you something, my friends. Slide number 9. That's all you got to show people. It's as simple as it can get. You don't have to show anything anymore. You don't have to convince. If people see this and they don't get it, they don't get it. If people see that an RVP 50 gets 50,000 a month and they don't get it, they don't get it. Because you can't give the wrong message to the right person. And you can't give the right message to the wrong person. This is the most simplest business compensation plan on the planet, ladies and gentlemen. We were speaking to some big leaders the other day. Some big leaders in this industry who've been there for 20 years. And they looked at this plan and they said, "It's unbelievable how we are paying out so much. It is so simple. We got a French translator to actually translate the compensation business presentation to the French leaders. We paid the French translator. After 2 minutes, the French people are saying, 'Stop it. We don't need translation. We got it.'" Does that make sense? You just have to show this to people, and if they don't get it, you get it. That's it. You don't have to convince them. You don't have to convince them. It's so simple. Can you say the word simple? And listen, simple always rules. That's the reason why when Albert Einstein met Charlie Chaplin for the first time, Albert Einstein told Charlie Chaplin, he said, "It's amazing and fascinating how people admire you, Charlie, even when you don't speak a word." Charlie Chaplin looked at Albert Einstein and says, "You know what is more fascinating, Mr. Einstein? People admire you even though they don't understand the word you are saying." You see, my friend, in life, keep things simple. Look to your neighbor and say, "Keep things simple." We kept things so simple that you don't have to do a lot of explanation. You don't have to convince. You don't have to brainwash. You don't have to coerce. You don't have to push. You just show this to people. And if people get it, they get it. But if they don't get it, don't worry. Because the richest billionaire in China said this: "If you put money and bananas in front of monkeys, the monkey will always choose the banana because the monkey doesn't know that money can buy bananas." So when I show the plan to somebody and if they don't get it and if they start ridiculing, opposing, I'm like, "It's fine, it's no big deal, no problem, see you later, banana." BANANA, building absolutely nothing anywhere near anything. Which animal is the largest animal in the jungle? Which animal is the tallest animal in the jungle? Which animal is the fastest animal in the jungle? Yet who is the king of the jungle? So not the tallest, not the largest, not the fastest, but the king of the jungle is a lion. Do you know the roar of the lion is the most feared noise in the jungle that can be heard 5 miles away? Do you realize that? My favorite book is the Bible. And in the Bible, God Himself relates Himself with only one animal in the animal kingdom. And that's the lion. So I'm thinking to myself, man, if God wants to relate Himself to be a lion, I want to know what's so special about the lion. And I found out that all my extensive research, there were 3 things of why this animal, who's not the largest, who's not the fastest, who's not the tallest, is the king of the jungle. And I found 3 things. The first thing the lion has is a mindset of a lion. Am I making sense, everybody? See, a lion and a hyena will look at an elephant. The hyena will like, "Oh my God, look at the size of that thing." The lion will look at the elephant and says, "Lunch." That's mindset. That's the mindset you need to have. When you look at a plan, you should say, you know what? I'm a senior vice president. I haven't got the pin yet, but inside, I'm still a senior vice president. Mindset. The second thing the lion has a never quit attitude. Because you know what? If the lion makes a decision to catch something, that's it, finished. And all the other lions, all the other animals know that. The elephant knows that it weighs 50 times more than the lion. The elephant knows that it's 10 times bigger than the lion. The elephant knows that if I just switch my trunk, that lion is gone. But the elephant also knows when he sees the lion, the elephant is thinking, oh my goodness, eat her. Because that lion won't quit till I'm dead. So either I'm going to die or that lion's going to die trying. It won't quit. Are there any lions in this room today? Don't quit. Don't quit NeXarise. No matter how long it takes. Don't quit. And the third thing that the lion has honorable leadership. Can you say leadership? Leadership. You know why the lion is the king of the jungle? Because it's honorable. Say the word honorable. Honorable. In everything that you do in life, my friends, be honorable. My favorite book says is how you do anything is how we do everything. Be honorable in everything that you do. See, a lion will only attack you. When I was walking with lions in South Africa, I asked the person coming with me, who was the guide, why is a lion not attacking me? He said the lion will only attack you for two reasons. One, if it's hungry. And two, if you give it danger. That's the reason why in a jungle, the deer will pass right in front of the lion. Because before passing, the deer has already checked, has the lion eaten? Yes. And I'm going to stay as far away from that. Am I making sense? A donkey will walk in front of the lion. Because why? Has the lion eaten? Yes. And as a lion, am I going to give any danger? No. So animals pass in front of the lion with respect. Say the word respect. Because the lion is honorable. But it will not do that in front of a tiger. A tiger, anything comes in front, it will jump on it and kill it. So lion has got honorable leadership. Lions work together in a pack, in a team. Say teams. That is why it's not called a team of lions, it's called a pride of lions. So here's the thing, when you come into this business, ladies and gentlemen, you are actually working with lions. Does that make sense? Look to your neighbor on your left and right and say, you are a lion. And look at this. What's great about being in NeXarise is that you're surrounding yourself with those on the same mission as you. Do you know once a lion finishes what it's got to do, it goes back to the lion's lair. And the lion's lair is when it relaxes, it rejuvenates, it refreshes, it sees the other lions, it mates, and it does everything calmly, but they work as a team. Isn't that amazing? When you come into NeXarise, my friends, when you go out, you will feel that you're alone. Remember, you're a lion. But when you come to an event like this is the lair of lions. The beauty is this. If you are not a lion in NeXarise, I'm telling you, you'll be found out. Because you will smell like failure. You'll smell of fear. That's the reason why two dogs, a male dog and a female dog, is walking with a little puppy, and there's a little what do you say, a little hole in the road. The mother dog will take the puppy by its neck and take it over, and then they'll walk again. But if two lions, a male lion and a female lion, is walking with a little cub and there's a hole, and the male lion will make sure that lion will fall, that cub will fall into that hole. And if the mother lion tries to take it by its neck to take it over, the male lion will look at the mother lion and say, did you cheat on me with a dog? That's not a dog, that's a lion. Let it fall, but it'll get up again because it's a lion, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you got to understand. So when you come into this business, if you're not a lion, you will not survive. And if you want, that's the reason why we put a compensation plan. At the end of the compensation plan, SVP Crown, it says 1 million. And you know what? The beauty about this is, let's mark my words, my friends. By the grace of God, NeXarise will be a multi-billion-dollar company. Yes? And the only way we are going to do that is by creating multiple millionaires within NeXarise. Yes? But that is the reason why it is designed in such a way. If you look at the word million, and if you look at the word billion, you will see something that's very intrinsic into it, that's etched into it. And you will see the words like right now what I'm telling you, you will see the word lion in the midst of those two words. If you feel me, can you say, mm-hmm? That's the reason why lions will go through ridicule. Lions will go through opposition. And then they'll be admired. Then they'll be accepted. Then they're actually going to get duplicated. That's the reason why, if you look at any success story in the world, you will see this equation of the road of success. Alright? A little boy went to his high school basketball team, and he was actually then kicked out of his high school basketball team. And when he went into the locker room, he was crying. Then everybody ridiculed him. Everybody opposed him. But then he got accepted. Then he got duplicated. This man is known as Mr. Michael Jordan, 6 times NBA champion. We got another gentleman who was a dropout. He was actually a dropout in school, and then he went and starts a company, and after that his own company kicks him out of his own company. The whole world ridiculed him for 13 years. The whole world opposed him. He went and started 2 other companies, and he became a failure at that. The whole world ridiculed him. The whole world opposed him, and then he got accepted, then he got admired, and now he starts to get duplicated. Steve Jobs. You have this lady over there, okay? This is, you can say it luck. Then you have got the lady. You know, from a very young age of 9, she was abused. Then she becomes, because of the abuse of a family member who raped her, she actually gives birth at the age of 14. And that birth came to a stillbirth. And then she gets a job as a TV anchor. And they said that you're too black, you don't fit. Am I making sense? Today she's a multi-billionaire as Oprah Winfrey. Ridiculed, opposed. Look at the next individual over here. Age of 65, is broke. His wife divorces him, takes all his kids with him. But he had a dream. 65, he had $100 in his pocket. And he was ridiculed. He was opposed. And he had a chicken idea. He went to 1,009 business owners to sell his franchise. Everybody said no. 1,009 no's in a white suit at the age of 65. Ridiculed, opposed, and today admired, accepted, and duplicated. Do you think age matters? No. Then let's see if culture works. This little girl, you know what? She lives in a place where daughters are not recognized for being a girl. It's ashamed to be a girl. Alright, in her little village, stupid people. That's the culture. But you know what? That's why girls were not given education. Girls don't study, boys study. You should sit and you should actually cook and cook for your husband. That was the kind of culture, the little, crazy village that she was born in. She said, no, girls are equal to boys. Ladies are equal to men. So she said, I am going to make sure that all women need to get educated. She's a little girl at age of 15. She's going to school. Marked terrorist jumps into her van and says, who is Malala? She said, I am Malala. They take a gun and blast her head off with a bullet. And the bullet comes out. She's alive. You think she'll stop? No. Everybody ridiculed her. Everybody opposed her. But she got up and she made sure that every girl in that village studied. That's why she's a woman who got the youngest lady ever who won a Nobel Prize, Malala. Do you think your culture matters? Do you think your sex matters? Do you think how you are matters? No. You got this little kid who has a growth hormone deficiency because he was too tiny among all the giants who were playing with him as a kid. He was kicked out because of his growth hormone deficiency. Today he's known as one of the greatest football players ever lived. You think occupation matters? You got a beekeeper, person who looks after bees, and a travel guide who looks at the greatest mountain in the world. I will climb it. 11 times they tried, they failed. But on the 12th time they made it. Today there's statues built for them because they conquered Mount Everest, and that is Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. Ridiculed, opposed, accepted, and duplicated. And on top of it all, you got 3 ordinary guys. Ordinary beginnings and came from nothing, no experience, nothing. But they saw an opportunity, they grabbed it, and they got to a point where they want to change other people's lives. And in the midst of the greatest recessions, these 3 guys who were ridiculed, opposed, have now started to be getting accepted, admired, and duplicated. I swear, our agenda is not to become millionaires or billionaires. Our mission is there on the first slide of every presentation. And each and every one of you will echo our words when you say this. In the first slide of the presentation. Can you read it with me? Our mission is to provide a global opportunity for individuals to enjoy the benefits of residual income. Period. That's it. No agendas. That's why we created the most transparent, non-ambiguous compensation plan in the world. When we succeed, you succeed. You're literally in business partnership with us. Friends, I'm going to close with one video. And you should watch this video because it's one of the most powerful videos. It's from a comedian called Michael Jr. And I have a lot of respect for him. I follow him. And he's a comedian, and what he does is he does crowd interaction at some of his shows. And this is at one point when the comedian Michael Jr. does a crowd interaction with one of the people in the audience. Watch the video.
I met this one guy, and he said that he teaches music at a school. I was like, all right, you teach music, you know, can you sing? And then I'm just gonna show you the clip. Check it. So you're a musical director. Cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me get a couple bars of like Amazing Grace. Can you do the first part of that? Go ahead.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Wow. That bro could sing, you know what I'm saying? All right. Now, what you give me the version is if your uncle just got out of jail, you got shot in the back when you was a kid. I'm just saying, let me see the hood version real quick, if you know which version I'm talking about. Just see if that exists. Let me see what you got.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Right now I'm found, was blind, but now I see.
I think that was amazing, yes? You see, when he first sang, he knew what he was singing. But the second time he sang, he knew why he was singing. You see, my friends, each and every one in this room right now, the chances of you being born, is 1 in 400 trillion. That's how many sperm cells and all the things were defeated for you to come out. And when you're born, you are born with a lion's, attitude inside of you. But life takes you through journeys to put you down. They'll say you're not tall enough, you're not bright enough, you're not smart enough, you're not good looking enough, you're too fat, you're too thin. And what happens is the lion forgets he's a lion. And in NeXarise, we want to remind you that each and every one of you are lions. And then you were born as kings and queens, and that's the reason why we put SVP crown at the end, because a crown is deserving for those individuals, so each and every one of you is willing to pay the price, who remembers that they're lions. So as you listen to my message today, the words today, let me remind you something. As I've talked from the beginning till the end, Think and Grow Rich, 25 years of research, 13 principles of success is all in the road of success. And that R.O.A.D is what it all comes down to. Are you willing to go through the ridicule? Are you willing to go through the opposition before you will be accepted, admired, and duplicated? Are you willing to do that? Yes. 5 people, are you willing to do that? Yes. Are you willing to say that, listen, I am a lion every single day, where you look at the mirror and say, mirror, mirror on the wall, I will rise up every time I fall. I might run, I might walk, I might crawl, but I will set my goals and achieve them all. Are you willing to do that? You see, the Royal Marine says that everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody is willing to die for it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've reminded you today of who you are, why you are here, and you're being given the greatest opportunity under the sun. I'm telling you this, reality. I hope you'll grab it and run with it. But the last thing is this that I tell you. Everybody wants to be a lion till it takes to do what a lion does. Everybody wants to be phenomenal till it takes something to do what phenomenal does. Every day when I leave my kids, I fist bump with them and I say 3 words. They'd say it with me. Go be phenomenal. I say go be, they say phenomenal. My 2-year-old doesn't say phenomenal, he says go be phenomenal. Look to your neighbor on the left and right, fist bump, says go be phenomenal. So my point is this, friends. If you want to be phenomenal, go and do what phenomenal does. If you want to be a lion, do, because it's time to be phenomenal. It's time for you to rise up and become a lion. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you to rise with NeXarise. Thank you very much. Yeah.